It is win or go home for the Denver Nuggets as they return home to the Pepsi Center in Game 5 of this best-of-7 Western Conference first round. Both teams had the same record, so it's not a shocker, but when you consider the Utah Jazz have been undermanned, it is, as they lead the Nuggets 3 games to 1 in the series. And right now, let's check out our Taco Bell starting lineups. And all 5 Jazz starters are scoring better in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. And for the Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony is the leading scorer in the playoffs thus far. And welcome everyone to the Pepsi Center. Nick Stockton along with the czar, Mike Fratello. So it is a bit of shock considering that the Jazz are missing players. How did it all come to be that it's 3-1, Mike?
Well, for Utah, their 2 stars, Carlos Boozer, Deron Williams, are playing at the top of their game. Head coach Jerry Sloan, minus 2 starters, Kirilenko and Okur, has pushed all the right buttons, and the role players have done everything asked of them and then some. Now, for the Denver Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony has had very impressive stats. However, obviously, he alone is not enough to get them wins. Other guys have to step up and produce. The half-court defense of the Nuggets has been non-existent against the execution of the Jazz. And lastly, we'll find out very shortly whether this dispirited group of Nuggets has raised the flag and surrendered, or whether collectively their pride is enough to get this team a win and extend this series.
And that, of course, has piqued the curiosity of Denver fans to see what the Nuggets come out with in this game. There have been comments made, and we'll chronicle them as we go along. Chauncey Billups, who needs to pick up his scoring game, and just about everyone does, around Carmelo Anthony, who has been the leading scorer in each game, tied with Billups with 25 in Game 3. And acting head coach Adrian Dantley, who's had the unenviable task of having to move into the seat held by George Karl, who is battling throat and neck cancer. And of course, the latest report from his son Kobe Karl is the fact that he is feeling a lot better, and that's great news. He has visited the Nuggets in practice. And so George Karl, whose team seemed poised to really make the run this year as the number 4 seed. So we're underway, and the Nuggets have the ball with Billups in possession. Nene is guarded by Krill Fisenko, who's been a big story. And here is Martin scoring. Kenyon Martin, who's still battling a sore knee that kept him out of action for 18 games down the stretch. But a very solid precision offense run by Jerry Sloan's Utah Jazz. Deron Williams with 8 on the shot clock ties the score with a layup.
Early on, Dick, we see a little switch in defensive assignments. Okay, Chauncey Billups starting on Deron Williams. Normally it's a follow that plays him. Right now they start out the game with Billups on Williams to see if he can slow him down a little bit.
In the lane, Martin feeding Nene, who scores. There's a guy they want to get going a lot more. Nene has got a lot of touches. Took only 3 shots in the last game.
And one of the big things that you look for is number of assists for the Nuggets. When you're coming out getting only 12 and 13 assists and you're having 16 and 17 turnovers, that's not a good thing for your offense.
And Carlos Boozer from the top. Boozer coming off a brilliant game, his career playoff high, 31 points on 55% shooting in Game 4.
You think of Boozer as this powerful power forward, and you start to think, well, post-ups down low. That's not necessarily his game. He plays a lot from the high post area. He makes that jumper.
Carmelo Anthony misses outside, and Fisenko, who is starting his 4th game in the series, actually started only 5 games in the regular season and has really played well. A 2-point field goal attempt by Wesley Matthews doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Fisenko, and he scores. And once again, Utah hitting their shots as they've done throughout this series.
But what Denver would be very happy with if it was always Matthews, Fisenko, and Miles that were taking the shots. That's the idea. Make those guys get the majority of the shots and looks at the basket rather than the 2 stars.
That's not likely to happen as Nene misses from outside, out of bounds, last touch by the Jazz. Denver won the opening game by 13 points at home, but Utah took game number 2, 114 to 111, and then won both games at home to take this 3-1 lead. Carmelo Anthony trying to get inside, and a Jazz foul, and it's in the act of shooting. Right now, let's check in with the third member of our team, Mark Fine, and a lot has gone on in the Denver side of things between games.
Yeah, no question, Dick. Mike talked about the dispirited group of Nuggets. There was a lot of finger pointing after game 4. Carmelo Anthony saying he can't do it by himself. Adrian Dantley saying, look, Melo has to limit the turnovers. J.R. Smith even got on Twitter and said, you play selfish, you're going to lose selfish. Now, I asked a number of the guys about this. Carmelo said, look, the locker room is fine. We're all on the same page. We had a great practice. We're looking forward to getting out there and going into battle. He also, by the way, guys, said that he hasn't been on Twitter in weeks.
All right, Mark. We have to watch all of the social communication going on in these days. 1 out of 2 for Anthony, and the Jazz by 1. Pasenko lost the ball off of his leg, and it goes over to Denver.
You know, for years, Kenyon Martin was one of the better low-post defenders in the league. That time, you see him strip the ball off. Pasenko goes off his leg, but he's limited right now, Martin, because of his knee. Problem he's having, not rebounding the same way, not blocking shots the same way.
Keep in mind, in 189 series in NBA history that went 7 games or 7-game series, only 8 teams have come back from the 3-1 deficit to advance. So the Nuggets have their work cut out for them with 3 minutes going by.
Here's a personal challenge right here for Chauncey Billups. Everybody's saying that Chauncey can't keep Williams in front of him any longer. That's his challenge tonight.
And the field goal by C.J. Miles, and coming off his career playoff high of 21 points. Nene double team down low, and a good feed to Aaron Aflalo for the basket. Utah by 1. 3.5 gone by first quarter. Darren Williams, and the pass down low, taken away. Kenyon Martin grabbed it away from Pasenko. Aflalo, defended by Williams. Martin from outside.
When Kenyon Martin is playing at the top of his game, that's not a bad shot for him. That's a normal shot for Boozer right there. Martin, you don't see him shoot as many jumpers from there, but when he's feeling well and his legs are good, he can make that shot, Kenyon Martin.
Boozer had the 31-point, 13-rebound effort as the Jazz open up 5 of 6 from the field and lead by 3. And that's been Utah's M.O. And Billups drives in. No one picking him up. And a 1-point game, and going to court is Darren Williams coming up empty. One of the rare fast breaks that Utah will show.
Yeah, transition defense going to be so important for the Nuggets tonight. Get back, help Billups out, try to slow Williams down.
And the 3-point basket by Aaron Aflalo, who's one of the top 3-pointers during the regular season, gives the Nuggets the lead. And we'll have a foul away from the ball. The officials tonight are Bennett Salvatore, Ron Garrettson, and Ed Malloy, and the foul is against Martin.
You know, when you have 12 and 13 assists in a game, you wonder, is it that we're not passing the ball, or is it that guys are not making shots? Sometimes you need a lot of film work to figure that out.
Taken away underneath by Nene. 2-on-1. Billups goes around Williams and draws the foul. Chauncey Billups has had to face all of the raves that are going Darren Williams' way, becoming, a lot of people think, maybe the best all-round point guard in the game, certainly with his strength. And the foul is against C.J. Miles. It'll be his second personal. So Billups is on the line, and right now we're going to take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Friday on ESPN at 7 o'clock, Atlanta-Milwaukee Game 6, as the Bucks win a stunning road game against Atlanta tonight. The Lakers are at Oklahoma City Game 6. ABC Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. The game's yet to be determined.
You mentioned Billups and the Nuggets defense versus Darren Williams, and talking to Adrian Dantley, one of the things he said was, we've got to get back to stopping the point guard like we did with Chris Paul when we took New Orleans out of that series and we just surrounded Chris Paul and didn't let him get the penetration. He said we didn't do it with 1 or 2 guys, we did it with 3 and 4 guys anticipating his penetration.
Even though Chris Paul, different style point guard than Darren Williams, a lot stronger, double team on Williams. Boozer in a 3-second violation called against the Jazz. So on the turnover, the Nuggets, who have the 4-point early lead, have the ball and already 4 turnovers charged to Jerry Sloan's team.
And that's what Sloan had mentioned to us. We've done a good job of executing. We haven't turned the ball over, and we've made shots.
And Billups going in. Good defense inside. Crowd yelling for a foul from Boozer. None coming. Missing from outside is Kyle Korver, the 3-point shooting whiz who has come into the game for Utah. Carmelo Anthony working his way in. And good defense that time from Wesley Matthews. Anthony has yet to get a field goal, and we have more than 6 minutes elapsed here in the first. Pasenko on Nene. And the 3-pointer by Wesley Matthews. So Matthews, who had 18 in the last game and is now 6 for 15 from 3-point range, brings Utah to within 1.
There's the fight that Wesley Matthews is going to have now, posting up with Carmelo Anthony. And remember, Anthony has been hit with a number of offensive fouls when he swings into that defender, leads with the shoulder or elbow. Getting up behind the 3-point line. The pass by Pasenko. He sees Matthews spotted up opposite. He gets set, shoots a 3, and hits it.
Hey, all we need is 1, baby. All we need is 1, all right? Play hard, keep your composure, keep your cool. Play the right way, we win the game. We go back to Utah. We're going back to Utah, man. Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
What Adrian Dantley is talking about is the fact that you don't have to look any further than just this one game. That's all you have to worry about winning. You win the one game, you get a chance, you stay alive, you go back, then you worry about the next game. But if you don't win this one, you're not going back to Utah.
And, you know, having the home court, of course, has been a huge advantage for this team. 34-7 at home during the regular season. Here is Carmelo Anthony still looking for his first field goal, but he'll go to the line. He made 1 of 2 the first time on the strike. And the foul is against, just coming into the game, was Millsap. Paul Millsap, who's had an outstanding series coming off the bench for the Jazz.
Another little thing that Adrian Dantley said to him, which is very important for this Nugget team. He said, keep you cool. This team has a tendency to lose its composure during the course of the game. They get technical fouls, they turn the ball over in a flurry, and when they start to lose their composure, they lose their concentration. Teams get easy scores on them. They have to keep up their intensity, their focus, and not lose their composure.
One of the things they have done so far, normally Carmelo Anthony has taken more than the majority of the shots, and it's been a lot more balanced for Denver on the attack. And this foul will go against Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups telling the official, Bennett Salvatore, he's grabbing my arm as he runs the cut. He said, what do you want me to do? I'm just putting my arm out trying to deny the ball.
Denver leading by 3 as the Jazz have turned it over 4 times so far in this game. And the field goal by Darren Williams. So Williams and Boozer each have 4. And Pasenko, who came out of the game for Millsap, had committed 3 of those 4 turnovers for Utah.
Darren Williams shooting 51% coming into the game tonight in this series.
Anthony going in, again, good defense, still looking for his first field goal, but the bad pass and the 5th turnover as the foul. Billups claiming for a foul, got none on the 3-point attempt. There was contact there. And Darren Williams drives in for the layup, and the Jazz regain the lead.
So where is the interior defense? Where's the rotation to help Chauncey Billups out? Chauncey wasn't trying to make that last shot. He was trying to initiate the contact. He had the defender in the air, then he wanted to go to the line.
And there's Anthony feeding Martin, and the second basket for Kenyon Martin, and we're seeing some good passing from the Nuggets early on.
When they double team Carmelo Anthony, he's going to face double teams all night. Some of them are going to come right away. Others will come as he puts the ball on the floor. Then is when he has to be able to spot and pick out his teammates. They, in turn, have to make shots.
So there you see the Nuggets, when they win, obviously have a lot more assists and a pretty margin. Millsap gets the basket as Darren Williams with the feed from outside.
Those are all the little counters that Utah runs against your defense. You get too high, they back cut you, get easy layups.
And already 4 assists for Williams. Martin with his 3rd field goal. So Kenyon Martin, who has averaged just under 10 points a game, but did score 15 in game 2, has helped give Denver the 1-point lead in a seesaw game with under 3.5 to go in the first. The jumper by Williams doesn't go. Right now, the Jazz shooting 70% from the field, and the Nuggets at 47%. Phillips gets in for the layup. No! Called for the charge. And that'll be his 2nd personal foul. And Adrian Dantley reminded of that by his fellow coaches.
That's why you can't pick up cheap ones early on. Watch the drive, see if the defender's outside the restricted area. No question about it.
So Chauncey Billups, who has 4 points, off to a good start. And he gives way to J.R. Smith via Twitter fame. So Smith is into the game. Korver inside to Millsap, who lays it in. So Millsap with the field goal, and a seesaw game with 3 minutes to go, 21-20.
Well, Adrian Dantley mentioned we have to get Ty Lawson on the floor more minutes tonight. Sure, he would rather have Billups not have the 2 fouls, but he's got him on the floor now, so we'll see what Lawson does. He's hoping that his quickness will really help this Nugget team.
And the 3-point attempt doesn't go. Boozer the rebound, and looking, actually, Adrian Dantley said, for about 20 minutes from Lawson. Gives the team a lift, but forced into the game by necessity here. Here is Matthews, open for the 3. And a good rebound on the other side by Smith. And Lawson throws it away into the hands of Millsap. So a Denver turnover. They've avoided that pretty much in this quarter. And the pass off of Boozer. And a little helter-skelter out there. And finally, a timeout is called before the tie-up by the Denver Nuggets. We have had 7 lead changes so far in this first quarter. And a 1-point lead by the Jazz.
Jazz up 21-20. Let's look at what they're trying to do when the ball goes into the low post. And they, with the basketball, the object is to dive people through the lane to force the defenders of Utah to go with them. Chauncey Billups will clear across the floor in the low post. We see Carmelo Anthony dive to the rim. What this does is it brings the blue jerseys to Carmelo as he dives. As soon as he dives and they squash the defense down low to the baseline, here comes Kenyon Martin filling in behind to the open area. That's what Nene is looking for. It winds up being a 12-foot jumper for Martin. The exact execution they worked on in practice.
So the 1-point lead, and Ty Lawson is the point guard. He's in there with Anthony, Martin, Nene, and J.R. Smith. Tiempo has come in with 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter, and the drive and miss by J.R. Smith. For Darren Williams with Kyle Korver, Wesley Matthews, Paul Millsap in there, and Tiempo, who came out of the game after committing 3 turnovers, returns. And here's Korver with the turnaround from 3 and the rebound by Anthony. Carmelo Anthony still looking for his first field goal. Missed his first 3 shots from the field, but he's hit 3 of 4 from the field. Matthews on him, and Carmelo Anthony finally hits the basket to give Denver the lead, and that is the 8th lead change here in the opening quarter.
Well, Carmelo is 1 for 4 from the floor, but he has gotten to the line, and he's 3 of 4 from the foul line right now, which is a good sign when he's aggressive and when he's drawing fouls.
And Millsap is open and hits the basket. Paul Millsap, who has hit in double figures in all 4 games, including 22 in game 3.
I don't know if people give Millsap the credit he deserves for being able to face up and shoot the basketball. And you see Carlos Boozer make those shots. Well, Millsap following right in his footsteps. So let's face it, that's one of the reasons they signed that young man to a long-term contract, hoping that they can keep Boozer. But in case he should leave, that's the heir apparent.
And, of course, we know how tough he is under the basket. There you see how he has raised his scoring average by 5 points this series, and all the way down the line he is playing superb basketball. So J.R. Smith is on the line. The foul was against Korver. And now we'll try to tie the game with under a minute remaining. In the regular season, the Nuggets took 3 out of 4 from the Jazz, but it's been reversed in this playoff series. Score tied. Chris Anderson is checked in for the Nuggets. See, the Jazz have yet to go to the free throw line. Darren Williams hitting a 3. And that is the first three-point field goal for Darren Williams tonight. He has 9 points and 5 assists already in this first quarter. Smith to Kenyon Martin. Well done.
Beautiful assist that time. A little pick and roll action there. J.R. Smith making the pass. And Ty Lawson has got to get up into Darren Williams a little more. He's got to trust the people behind him, but he can't let Williams size him up like that and step into the jump shot. We mentioned he's shooting over 51% coming into this game.
Jazz hit 12 of 18 thus far. Differential of about 3.5 seconds. And a Denver foul. That's their 4th team foul.
Pick and roll action. Martin sets the screen. Smith splits the 2 defenders and then makes a beautiful pass off the dribble. Martin with the strong finish.
And that is the 2nd foul on Martin. Billups came out of the game after committing 2 fouls, and now Martin has 2. C.J. Miles picked up 2 early for the Jazz. Fisenko misses the free throw. Fisenko came in a key moment earlier in the series when Millsap had fouled out with 5:33 to go, hit 2 big free throws earlier in the series to help Utah, but he's a sub 50% shooter.
But you know what an afterthought is? Well, Fisenko was after the afterthought early in the season, and now here he is the starter in the playoffs and playing well.
Here is J.R. Smith, leaves it for Anthony. Anthony for 3. And Fisenko gets the rebound, and a loose ball foul has been called. And time runs out at the end of the first quarter. The Jazz lead the Nuggets by 2, 27-25 in the critical game 5.
以前发型师总会把
First time out, you don't say a word. I saw the guys talking a lot. What was it that they saw that made them be more...
They were getting baskets inside on us. We need to try to keep them getting too many layups.
Only 1 field goal for Melo. That's a good thing, but they seem to be spreading the ball around.
They're doing a good job of passing the basketball, and they're looking for their guys inside a lot more. But we got to do a better job trying to keep them, take away their layup.
I imagine you want to improve on the turnovers, too. 6 turnovers.
We'd like to, but some of them are kind of unforced.
Thanks, Coach. Dick, back to you.
Seems like Jerry Sloan a little tolerant of those 6 turnovers committed by the Jazz as we start the second quarter, and Carmelo Anthony is in there, and Johan Petro seeing his first action in this game. Petro has not played that much. J.R. Smith is in there. Talked about Anderson and Lawson, the point guard. And Ronnie Price has come into the game for Utah. Millsap didn't have much position underneath, and here's Carmelo coming up. He has Korver in front of him. Double team. Lawson short with the 3.
And that's what you ask Carmelo to do. He draws 2 defenders, winds up finding the open man. Now other people have to make shots. And you talk about the 6 turnovers. Remember, Dick, they're averaging just 13 in the first 4 games. 13 for the game. They have 6 at the end of the first quarter.
And a ball nearly stolen by Lawson, but he can't save it as it goes out of bounds. Good hustle by Ty Lawson. And that's what Adrian Dantley wanted to do, get him in there. And there are 3 seconds to attempt the shot.
You see the hustle and effort that time. Korver goes down on the floor after. Nice job of getting the arm in the passing lane.
And a long way to go for 3 seconds. Here's Korver with Smith on him. And the 24-second violation. So Lawson didn't get the turnover, but he got the job done.
Good job by Denver, recognizing that there were just 3 seconds remaining on the 24-second clock. They got up, extended the defense, put pressure on him, and the defender did not go for the ball fake on Korver's shot.
Lawson, the 18th overall pick by the Timberwolves, traded to Denver. Here is Anthony spinning in, and a foul as Fisenko right in the middle, and Fisenko called for the personal foul. How are they playing Carmelo Anthony? Let's take a look.
Watch the different areas that they give the ball to Carmelo. That time it's right side, foul line extended as he backs down to shoot the jumper over the defender. This time it's left side of the floor below the foul line extended. Again, facing up, he gets 3 blue jerseys surrounding him. And we saw the last time they gave the ball at the middle of the foul line area, a different area to attack from.
39 points in that last game, but also turned it over 9 times. Has shot really well, 53%. In this series, and really good from the line. He is 5 for 6 so far from the line, has missed 3 of 38 free throws thus far in this series. So Korver with Millsap, and Anderson, the Birdman, is on Millsap, gives up the dribble, giving Price a chance to shoot inside the three-point line and misses. Outlet pass, and Price knocks it into the hands of Korver. Good hustle by the Jazz defensively.
You know, you say the idea is good, you guys out in front, but the execution isn't good. You cannot turn the ball over. Possessions become very important versus the Utah Jazz. There's times to try those and times not to.
Quick release by Korver on the medium jump shot. Tied at 27. Minute and a half elapsed here in the second quarter. Critical game for the Denver Nuggets, and Lawson with the baseline drive. Rebound Boozer.
It's at the 3rd time we've seen Denver come up short as they try to shoot a layup at the rim.
And Anderson might have gotten a piece of that jumper by Price in the lane. So once again, Denver looking to regain the lead as this game is going back and forth in this first half. And the ball thrown to the backcourt, still going the same way with 11 on the shot clock for the Nuggets. Jerry Sloan, a Hall of Famer in 09, and the acting head coach Adrian Dantley inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2008. Anderson left open, and the Birdman hits. You wonder whether he can become a wild card for the Nuggets in this game.
What they count on Chris Anderson for is to block shots, protect the front of the rim, get some offensive rebounds, and anything he gives you beyond that is icing on the cake. And he has to stay within what they need him to do.
Here's Millsap, well covered, coming up empty, and we're going to have the Nuggets come up with it with a 2-point lead. Anthony to Petro on the pick and roll, hard off the glass, and the shot will count. Ty Lawson with an and-one.
That's what Adrian Dantley is hoping that Lawson will give this team, the ability to break down the defense, get in the lane, get high percentage shots, and then if the big men stay active on the glass, they'll get offensive rebounds. You see the penetration of Lawson after the initial miss by Petro.
And Boozer committing his first personal foul. And here is Ty Lawson, who led all NBA rookies in three-point field goal percentage. And he has given the Nuggets a 5-point lead on a 9-1 run, and that's their biggest margin, with 3 minutes elapsed in the second. Backup point guards, Price against Lawson. Korver, he's off the mark in the early going.
And you want to make sure that you don't start believing Korver's going to miss a lot of shots, because he will make them. Got to close out on him quicker.
Hard pass to Lawson, who had the sky very high. Here is Johan Petro, and nearly tipped in by Anderson. So the Jazz trying to narrow this 5-point deficit. And their shooting percentage has dropped precipitously now to 48%. And here is Boozer with a tough baseline shot. So Carlos Boozer now with 6. Petro setting a screen for Lawson. And they're going to call the offensive foul on Petro for a moving pick. A timeout. The Nuggets, who have lost 8 straight elimination games in a tight battle with Utah, leading in this best of 7, 3-1.
Alone was not enough to beat this Jazz team. Carmelo combined with Billups. Billups was on the bench with only fouls, just 2 of 9. But they're getting help elsewhere as we see the foul take place that time on the drive to the basket. But the other guys, Martin with 8, Aflalo with 5. Other players stepping up early on to help this team stay close while their 2 stars struggle.
Deron Williams back into the game when Denver outscored Utah 7-2 with him on the bench. Foul is on Anderson. And on the line is Wesley Matthews. His father, Wes Matthews, played 9 years in the NBA, and you coached him in Atlanta at one point.
Had Wes in Atlanta, liked Wes, had a great spirit about him, very, very competitive person.
And it looks like his son picking up where his dad left off in the NBA. 1 out of 2 for Matthews, and the Nuggets lead 32-30. A little more than 4 minutes have gone by in the second. Nick Stockton, Mike Fratello, Mark Fine with you in Game 5. Aaron Aflalo hitting the 3, so that he is now 2 for 2 from three-point range, and the Nuggets again a 5-point lead.
Nene at some point is going to have to make a strong, aggressive move to the basket. They throw it to him in the post, but he starts to dribble, really looking more to pass the ball than score himself. He's got 3 assists right now. He looks the defense over. There he sees 2 blue jerseys, finds an open teammate, and is willing to make the pass. But at some point, he's going to have to put pressure on the defense himself by going stronger to the rim.
Meanwhile, Nene picking up the personal. Each team with 2 team fouls. It was deflected off of Anderson, so no backcourt violation. So Millsap working against Anderson. Pretty move inside and draws the foul. Let's listen in the last timeout. Adrian Dantley talking to his Nuggets.
Keep fouling on the defensive end, okay? We got to get a stop every possession. Everybody got a rebound, okay? Everybody got a box out. Talk on the screen, okay?
And this Utah team is a tough team to play, Mike.
Well, right now, Adrian Dantley trying to emphasize the fact that defense is the first thing. That's their priority. They must find a way to hold this Utah team, which is the leading team in the playoffs right now in scoring in the NBA at over 112 points per game after the first 4 games. Right now, when they look up at the scoreboard and see just 31 on the scoreboard, I would think that Adrian's happy with the defensive effort to this point.
1 out of 2 from Millsap. There's a feed inside to Petro with the short hook shot, and it goes. Johan Petro, in his 5th year, who was born in Paris, made 16 starts this year for Denver, and a 6-point lead, biggest lead for Denver in this game. Boozer not challenging Nene. 10 on the clock. Lawson, who has played a good deal since Billups went out with a foul trouble. Williams says I was fouled. 3 on the shot clock, and Boozer's shot from outside. Crashing the board was Miles, and finally a foul is called, and it's against the Nuggets.
I think maybe on the rebound he may have stepped over the line that time as he was pivoting, Dick, and they're giving the ball back to him.
You're right. No foul called.
There's Aflalo securing the ball, and there's the heel on the white line.
So no foul. Nuggets with 3 team fouls, and Boozer gets the great feed in the basket and the foul. So Carlos Boozer with 8 and Deron Williams with 9 are the scoring leaders for the Jazz, and that'll be the first foul against Ty Lawson.
Here's the execution that we talk about. Ball out of bounds under the basket. Utah taking advantage of the turnover that time. Right, Denver winds up cashing in, get a bucket, now an opportunity to finish the 3-point play.
And for more on the help that Carlos Boozer gets, here's Mark Fine.
Yeah, Dick, you know, remember, he came into this series having an issue with his left oblique. After the first couple of games, if you asked him how he was feeling, he'd say sore. I'm not good. I'm not 100%. Obviously, he's having a great series. I asked him today how he is. He said, man, I'm about 95%. I hardly feel it at all anymore. Doing much better, guys.
95%, that's great at this time of year. Here is Lawson feeding Petro. No basket. And they'll call the offensive foul or a 3-second violation. It was Lawson driving in, no foul on number 3, but the 3-second violation is called.
What happens when big men think their guards are going to shoot? They start to work for offensive position on the glass, and that time they get caught in the lane.
Boozer with a great feed from Millsap. Good interior passing by the Jazz there. They come within 1. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Nene against Boozer, and Williams double teams him. The skip pass and the 3 by J.R. Smith. So 3 3-pointers by the Nuggets, and they're up by 4.
Could not have come at a better time. And if you're Denver and you know your teammates, you get the ball right back in his hands again, because that guy makes threes in bunches.
And Boozer missing from outside, and we will have a quick jump ball called by Bennett Salvatore with 5:34 remaining in the second quarter.
Remember, only one explosive quarter so far for J.R. Smith. 14 points in the fourth quarter of game number 1. They're waiting for him to break out.
As of late, trailing 3-1. Adrian Dantley, the acting head coach, comments about the comparison with George Karl. And then Carmelo Anthony said, I need more help. And then he edited to say, look, I can't do it alone. And then, of course, on the Twitter, you play selfish, you lose selfish. That's all I'm saying. That's what J.R. Smith said. And Chauncey Billups, in praising George Karl, said we miss his voice, we miss his leadership, when in effect really does not do Adrian Dantley any good, even though that's true of what he said about George Karl.
And the fact remains that you have to wait, obviously, till the end of the game to find out the results. But was this team going to come in tonight and be so disjointed, so fractured, that they weren't going to give the effort necessary? Well, early on, it doesn't look like that way. They're here to win. They want to go back and play again in Salt Lake City.
And Boozer's shot dropped, so 13 for Boozer on 6 of 8 from the field. Remember, Chauncey Billups has been out for nearly 10 minutes. Good spark by Ty Lawson, and the ball deflected away by Millsap. And it's going to go the same way. Last touched by the Jazz.
We saw a little pick and roll action, and Utah has had a little bit of a problem defending that open side of the floor pick and roll. If Nene didn't lose control of the basketball, he would have had a dunk or a layup at the end of that.
Carmelo Anthony back in the game. He has only made 1 basket, but with the 7 rebounds and 5 for 6 from the line, 2 assists and 2 steals, he's got the all-round game going, and now Anthony will go to the line again for 2 shots. So you can't claim that Anthony is just hoisting them up, and Nene is shaken up on the floor right now. So Nene, who is the anchor down low for the Denver Nuggets, is shaken up and has to be helped up. The right knee, you can see, has a brace. And we'll have a timeout, so we'll be back to the Pepsi Center in just a moment. And here is Nene going to the locker room, injuring his left knee. Tough break here for the Nuggets.
Dick, let's see how it happens. Just as he plants the left leg, watch as Boozer's foot kicks back into it. So basically, kind of like a football guy who's running, plants his foot, and someone hits him head on in the kneecap. That time, Boozer's left leg kicks him right in the left knee as he's planting, getting ready to jump.
Chris Anderson will come in, and Kenyon Martin in there as well as Anthony, who's 5 for 6 from the line, shooting 2, and makes the first. TNT in June. It's a new season and a new reason to get more leverage. The Leverage 2-hour season premiere event is Sunday, June 20th at 9, 8 Central.
I'm on my way.
On TNT. 1 out of 2 for Anthony. Now 6 of 8 from the line, and the Nuggets up by 3, under 5 to go in the first half. So Martin is guarding Boozer now, and Chauncey Billups also back into the lineup for Denver. Came out with 2 fouls early.
Chauncey has to be smart now, not pick up that third one, so then he's got 4 fouls to use in the second half.
And the next foul against the Nuggets will result in the penalty. Miles from outside, and the rebound by Martin. Biggest lead has been the Nuggets by 6. Billups trying to change direction. Darren Williams will have nothing of it. They go back down low to Billups. He'll finally pull up, and the offensive rebound by Martin, and the offensive foul is called against Kenyon Martin.
Well, when that elbow comes out and you swing in and catch a defensive player with the elbow, most times you're going to get the offensive foul call. There's the swing in with the left elbow, clears space, drives it right through the jaw of the defender. Millsap goes down. That's where the offensive foul is called. Easy call for the official.
And a very tough situation for the Nuggets. That's the 3rd foul against Kenyon Martin, and we saw Nene leaving the game. So a lot of their interior strength has gone by the boards. With 4:26 to go in the first half, Adrian Dantley's Denver Nuggets needing a win to keep this series alive, and the Jazz trying to win another game on the road and wrap it up. Johan Petro gets the call. Defending Boozer, fall away baseline. He's done that several times tonight. 15 for Boozer, the game high scorer.
We see Boozer down the low post, turns and fades to the baseline. We see Boozer up at the foul line area where he shoots him straight on. He's got a terrific touch for a big man.
And Anthony posting up. J.R. Smith picked up by Matthews will go back and hit the 3. J.R. Smith with his second 3-point basket for the Nuggets, who lead by 4.
When he shoots the threes and starts making them, not only does he energize his team, but he energizes this crowd, and they get ready for this team to go on a run.
Boozer working his way in, and good defense that time by Petro. Petro has contributed some, coming off the bench, had not played much in the series, coming in. And Anthony going around, and they're going to call Matthews with the hooking foul. His second.
Let's go back to that last 3-point attempt by J.R. Smith. You'll see him with the basketball. Watch the screen come up and set a little pick and roll out at the top of the circle. He goes left. The defense gets caught up on the screen. Open look for 3, J.R.
And that is the 4th team foul against the Jazz. J.R. Smith out of St. Benedict's High School in Newark in his 6th year, just 24 years old. 2 for 2 on threes. Pulling back is Carmelo Anthony. Only his 2nd field goal of the game, but it matches the biggest lead for the Nuggets. 6 points with 3 to go in the second.
See Billups not trying to allow Darren Williams to have the ball back again. Once he gives it up, they're denying him the return pass.
Millsap pitches from outside. And right now, the Jazz shooting 49%, and the Nuggets at 48%. With nearly 2.5 to go in the first, there's Anthony with a spin move, misses the perimeter shot.
And that's one of the ones that you probably say, you know, we can do a little bit better than that shot. Even though he made his last one and wants to get it going, we see Williams come down, face up, shoot the 3. You have to get up into him to not let him just come down in stride and shoot it.
You can do better than what Anthony did. You can't do better than what Williams did. The lead is down to 3 again. Jazz hanging in there on the road in a closeout opportunity tonight. Game 5. Smith with 7 on the shot clock, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Here's J.R. Smith feeding inside to Anderson. Well done by Smith.
It's the 2nd time we've seen J.R. Smith off the dribble, make a big pass. They come right back. Utah pitch the ball ahead.
And
Matthews
Boozer
now
slams
to
it
the basket.
through. So Nene, you saw Nene going off with a left knee injury. For more, here's Mark.
Yeah, not good news. I'm here outside the Denver Nuggets locker room, Dick, and Nene is out for the rest of the night. It is a sprained left knee. He will not return to the game tonight. Will be reevaluated tomorrow. So Jazz the ones dealing with injuries most of this series. Now it's the Nuggets that have to deal with one. Back to you guys.
And Mark, thank you. And they're dealing with it at a crucial time, down 3-1. No basket on that last play. And Matthews with the free throws, and Denver up by 3.
Dick, I'm thinking myself right now, if I'm coaching that Denver team, this might be a time, if there's a dead ball, to get Chauncey Billups out of the game. Minute and a half remaining before the half. Don't let him pick up that third foul.
And the pick and roll, and the ball knocked out of bounds and hit on the left wrist was Chris Anderson. The Nuggets have it with 11 on the shot clock, and you're right about that third foul. And Kenyon Martin has picked up 3, and he's been on the bench for Denver.
You can buy enough time, a minute and a half to get by with whoever you put in the game.
Billups missing from the baseline, and a bunch of blue-shirted Utah Jazz surrounding Anderson underneath. Here's Darren Williams. What a great 1-2 punch. Boozer inside, Millsap lays it in. Great ball movement by the Jazz.
How about the interior passing? Knowing where your next teammate is. It goes from Williams to Boozer, underneath, layup.
Precision, execution by the Utah Jazz, and when they do it, they're tough to beat. Petro way off the mark on the open shot.
Why not dribble the ball, one dribble, get yourself a little bit closer, make it an 8-foot shot rather than a 16-foot shot.
So here are the Denver Nuggets needing a win at home to extend this series, and locked in a tight battle with the Jazz. 8 on the shot clock for Utah, who have won 3 in a row. And Williams gets the three-point basket. Darren Williams with his third three-pointer and gives Utah the lead by 2. Here is Billups. Great move around Millsap. Textbook move by Chauncey Billups. He has 6. Anthony with 10 leads the Nuggets.
Darren Williams got hung up on the high screen. Then it was just a matter of Billups facing up against Millsap one-on-one. The right to left crossover got him right to the front of the rim.
Ernie, Kenny, and Charles coming up on the halftime report. Here is C.J. Miles, the extra pass to Boozer. No foul, no shot. Here is Anthony, and Matthews knocks it away. It's off Carmelo Anthony. So with 7.1 seconds in a tie game, the Jazz could play for the last shot. They bring the three-point shooting Kyle Korver into the game, replacing Miles.
These are the decisions you have to make. You want to pitch it ahead and take a chance when the defender's that close and it goes off of Carmelo's hands, or control the ball. You still had 7 seconds to dribble it down and get the last shot of the quarter, not give it back to Utah. And
Williams is fouled, and that's on Chauncey Billups, and that is going to be 3 on Billups. And Mike, just moments ago you said, get him out of this game. So Billups has 3 on a foul way out.
Yeah, that's why you want to get the guy out. You don't want to take a chance, particularly when he's guarding a guy who's on a roll like Williams has been. And if you haven't gotten him out yet, don't think something can't happen with 1.3 seconds remaining that he can't pick up his 4th.
And a shooting situation for Williams. It was a 2-point attempt, so Williams will shoot 2. And Otheus Jeffers has come into the game for the Jazz in the final seconds. Makes the first. You'll see where his foot was on this attempted shot.
Yeah, clearly that left foot is on the white line when he shoots the ball. 2 free throws, not 3.
And 1.3 seconds remaining. It's been a seesaw first half with the Nuggets leading most of the way, as much as 6 points. And here is Smith. He got the shot off, but he missed. So with 11 lead changes and 5 ties, the Utah Jazz looking to win 4 straight and eliminate the Nuggets, are up 52-50. And right now, let's take a look at the Corona stats leaders. And what a surprise for the Jazz. Deron Williams with 17, Carlos Boozer with 15, and Carmelo Anthony leading the Nuggets with 10. And right now, let's send it over to Mark Fine.
All right, I'm here with Carlos Boozer. Guys, Carlos, they did about everything they wanted to do before the game started in the first half. You guys still with a 2-point lead.
Oh, we just keep fighting, man. They're a good team. They're not going to come out here and BS. They're going to bring it. They're bringing it. And fortunately for us, we've been making some good shots, playing good enough defense to get the lead. We got a 2-point lead. Hopefully we can play good in the second half to get this W.
Struggled with the turnovers a little bit early. That an area you need to improve on?
We did better in the second quarter, though. You know, we got to continue to be sharp with the ball. We don't want to get them easy buckets. And they do a good job in transition. If we can cut down on turnovers, like you said, the rest of the second half, we'll have a chance to win.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. All right, we got to take a timeout. 52-50. The Jazz lead it after the first half. After the break, we send it back to Atlanta. EJ, Kenny, and Charles stand by with the T-Mobile halftime report.